everybody and welcome to the first day of Vlogmas! Okay, as you can see, this video is before we have put up any decorations, but we are doing it tomorrow and I'm so excited. Obviously then for you that will be tomorrow's video of us putting up all of our decorations, but today I want to make some of our decorations and some of our things that we need. So this is a Christmas DIY video. So what we want is we want stockings, and I've bought some gingham fabric for it. I want to put a print where our autumn Mickey Dreamcatcher thing is on the wall by the TV. I want to like paint a Christmas phrase or saying or something and frame it and put it on the wall. And I want to make a wreath, and I want to make and crochet a blanket. So I will show you all four of those things in this video. So the first DIY I'm going to talk about, we are not actually doing yet. I am adding it into this video because it is a DIY idea for you guys and it might have just slipped your mind, and it is the wreath making. So as you can see, I have got my wreath ring ready to make my wreath, but I was planning on doing this with my friend and boss Bryony, who I did it with last year, but unfortunately our local area has been announced that it'll be in tier 3 from when we open lockdown tomorrow, which means we still won't be able to see each other. So we won't be able to do our wreath making together. So I haven't bought any of the stuff yet. I might get it to do the day after tomorrow when we've put up all our decorations. But I have got some clips when we actually did it last year. So I will put all of the pictures in and videos in from when we made it last year, just to give you an idea of what you could do and what sort of things you will need. So just to give you the idea of things to buy, like if you are wanting to make one yourself, you will need to get one of these wreath rings. I got mine from Boys. They're not too much money. I don't know if Boys are around in many places, but mine was £1.30. This is the second size as well. I think there is a size down which is slightly smaller than this, and that was 80p. So yeah, they're not that expensive to buy the frame for. It's just the extra stuff. I think last year when I bought all of the flowers and things to go on top, it cost me about £5. So you need to get a bunch of moss if you're going to use real sorry, the doorbell rang. As I was saying, if you are going to use real flowers and leaves and things like that on your wreath, you will need to get moss, which goes in this ring bit, which you'll then essentially stick all your stuff in to keep it alive. And then to keep it in place you need wire. So it's floristry wire you need really. It's green and quite thick, and it comes on a spindle, and that costs about £4 I think. I will now show you all of the videos from last year's Vlogmas. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I will be making my wreath and I will be filming it and adding it into Vlogmas, so you will see what mine looks like in the end anyway. But I think it's cute that me and Tom get to do it together this year because we didn't last year. But yeah, that is DIY 1. So DIY number 2, I was thinking of what I wanted to do in the space next to my TV where my Mickey wreath Dreamcatcher thing is hanging at the moment. And I was thinking, do I want to buy a print? Do I want to make a Mickey Christmas wreath? I couldn't decide. And then I thought it would look quite nice to fill the space with a print of some sort, but of like words. So I had a look on Pinterest and I found a bunch of these different wall arts, I guess. And I thought that is so easy that you could just make it yourself. So here we go. I'm gonna give it a go of making a phrase or saying wall art. Haven't quite decided what phrase yet, so I'm going to have a quick look at some like phrases on Google and decide what I want. I have had a look at Pinterest and Google and decided I want to do the phrase "it's the most wonderful time of the year," but in this kind of style. So I found this print on Pinterest along with a bunch which are actually free to download and print off. So that is a really good second hack. If you don't want to make one of your own, you can print some ones out and just display them around your home for free. So yeah, that is a really good thing that is on Pinterest. But I am going to make this one, and I'm going to just quickly like plan it out before I actually do it. I've got this big clip frame from Wilko and 2 bits of A4 paper which I'm going to sellotape together to do it on, but I need to decide how I'm going to do it first, so I'm going to quickly sketch out some ideas. I have decided on this, obviously a bit more spread out and a lot neater. Like, I just gave up with year by the end because I knew that's what I wanted. But yeah, I went through a bunch of different things that I didn't know if I wanted to do, so I highly recommend drawing it out first. And then if you are a consistent watcher of my channel, you will know I love watercolours, so that is what I am going to be doing it in. Okay, so third thing is my lovely gingham material for some stockings. Oh yeah. I got this off the market, and I got, yeah, I think a metre, but I thought this would look really cute as stockings. It's got some yellow in it and stuff, so yeah, I'm gonna make one and then double check that Tom likes the fabric and then make another one if he does. So I think what I'm gonna do is fold it in half and then in half and draw out the stocking but cut the 2 sides at the same time so that the same shape, like exactly the same shape. Let's get to it.
Christmas lights are shining oh so bright everywhere in this little town on this special night.
So one of the most important things when it comes to sewing is always make it slightly bigger than what you want it, because definitely by my standards I stitch things and they tend to shrink. So yeah, I'm gonna whack this through the sewing machine, obviously leaving the top empty, like not stitched, and slightly off the top, probably about that much off the top, not stitched, and I'll just do that by hand because I might add the fluffy bit around the top. I can't decide, but I can't find any either. So yeah, I'm gonna just sew this up for now and get a piece of scrap material that I've got to make a little like loop for a hook on the corner. And yeah, stocking!
Wherever we are, near or of Christmas to me.
Okay, here we go. Yay. So of course you could have hand stitched it, as long as you do like tight little stitches. It tends to be fine doing it by hand as well. But there we are. So once I've done this, obviously while I sewed it, I pinned it all the way around to make sure that I was keeping it together. But now that it has been sewn, I need to turn it inside out so that we don't have all the horrible little cut edges. And there you have it. Stocking all ready for Christmas. So two things that I might do is I might put some fluff on the top, so where it folds down like this. But with this one you'd probably want it about there, which is why I made it a little longer. You probably want about that much of fluff for a stocking like this. I have made the toe quite big, but never mind. And then it will hang from the mantelpiece like so, and I think that's really cute. I really like it. So the last thing that I will need to do is put a little loop here out of some fabric of some kind, just so it can hang. Okay, the last DIY that I have for you, you can do from the comfort of your own couch. It is something that I have been doing for a long time already, and it's crochet a blanket. So you can obviously knit, crochet, whatever, a blanket. And I'm going to show you how to crochet, because that is what the project I am doing is. Because I have done all of this already, I will show you how to start off crocheting a square. And then obviously if you want it to be a big blanket like this, you just chain the first chain longer. It will make sense when I say, but yeah, if you're wanting to do a bigger blanket, you will need a longer starting line, because that's the width that your final project will be. Like this is 70 long and continuing how wide. So yeah, anyway, I will show you how to start crocheting a square. So I am going to use this tricolour wool, because this is the colour wool that I am using at the moment. So once you have got your end, what you want to do is make a slip knot. So you want to put it twice around your fingers, like so, yeah, twice. And then with the end, just go underneath here. So you've gone underneath your two, slipped it off your fingers until you have the loop. So the end is down here and you have a loop. And then you just want to tighten that onto a crochet hook. I have quite a big one. This is 8mm. You can do any size you want. Obviously thicker wool, you'll want a thicker crochet hook, because otherwise it gets a bit complicated and gappy. But then essentially put your crochet hook through the loop that you created, and then just pull your end, and then pull your, we call it the working yarn, the yarn that is connected to your ball of yarn. Pull that and it will tighten your knot. Yeah, and then just pull your tail so that it goes, if you pull the tail, it will go, the knot will move up to your crochet hook. So with your working yarn, the bit that is attached to your ball, you want to have that in your hand, and then with your crochet hook, you're just gonna, see what I did, grab the working yarn and essentially just pull it through your loop. So you don't want this first knot very tight on your crochet hook, because you have to pull back through it. So you're taking that working yarn into the hook like this. I like to hold the tails because it just steadies you and anchors you a little, and pull it through that loop that was on your crochet hook. So you have got a chain. It's called a chain because it looks a bit like a chain. See how this loop has gone through this loop, and that is chain one. So that is one. So I have chain 70 for my big blanket. That is how wide I have made my big blanket so that it covers me. But just for a square, I would recommend chain 15, So you want to do that 14 more times. So that's chain 1, and then get your working yarn and pull it through that loop. Chain 2, 9, 10. I'm just going to do a 10 just to show you how to crochet essentially. So you want to be looking, this will be what is facing you. So you see it kind of looks like a plait. You know when you plait your hair? Kind of looks like a plait. So I've chained 10. If I wanted a 10 square, I would have to chain 1 more to make it 11. But when you start doing the next layer, you always want your crochet hook, if you're right-handed, in your right hand, and your tail, so your working end, in your left hand, because obviously you always work that way into your crochet. So once I've got to the, I'm going to now work from my crochet hook to the end, and once I've done it I will have to flip it over. So I've added my extra 1 because when making my next row, which goes on top of this row, I will need to skip 1 so that I can get the height. You're essentially adding an extra chain to get the height to go up to the next layer. Right, hopefully this works better. I've turned around. So we've chained our 10 and then added our extra 1 on for 11. So what we're going to do is, you see where this loop comes through this one, we're going to skip this one. See where this loop comes through this one? Skip this one, we're going into this one. So in to that top bit of yarn. Then with your working yarn, you're taking that through to get another loop on your crochet hook. After you've got those 2, you want to then get it back to 1. So you want to get your working yarn again and pull it through the 2 that are on your crochet hook. And can you see how we have heightened our crocheting? This first one will look a bit funny, but once you go through the second one, do it again. So in, make a loop to get 2, make a loop to get 1. Can you see how that's now starting to get another layer? So that's our second row forming. So that's 1, 2, in, pull through, pull through. I think this is called a double Dutch crochet or something like that, because I think you can just do one where you go through and then pull it all the way through, and that's a single. If that's easier for you, you can just do that. So how we have been going into this top one, make a loop and then pull through that 2 loops. You can instead go through the loop, pull through everything, in through the loop, pull the working yarn through everything, if that is easier for you. But for me, I don't like how this ends up looking in the end. Can you see the difference between this singular? The singular here is a way holier than the double here. So I'm going to undo those singulars and carry on doing our doubles. So in, pick it up once, go through it all, go in, make a loop to get 2, go through it all, loop, all, all. Okay, now that we have got to the end, we want to do what we did last time. Can you see how that's like the second row now? So now that we've got to the end, I see it as tying this end off. So you see how the 2 loops there are quite loose. What you want to do is just chain 1, which is get your working yarn and pull it through your loop like we did to start with. That's your chain 1. So we're doing that so we can go up another row. I see it as we're neating off these ends, but we do need it to get the height for the next row. And then, like I said before, because I am right-handed, I am flipping it over so the crochet hook's back in my right hand and I'm working towards the end. Okay, now that we have got our second row, because we are doing a double, we have got the plait again at the top. But because it's on the top, what we want to do, so starting again, ignore the first one because that's where our loop is coming through. So going through the second one, you want to make sure you're going through the whole hole. So that means through 2 separate bits of yarn. Make sure that you don't just go through 1 because that will make a very, very loose blanket. What you want to do is go through under both of them, through the hole that we've created there, and carry on. So crochet hook 1 through the 2, and then again go through the hole that we have made there in our thing underneath both bits of yarn. See how there's 2 underneath both. Make 2 loops, pull through so there's 1, and then we're making another row, and on you go until you have a square or until you have a completed blanket. The great thing about crocheting a blanket while it's this weather is that it keeps you warm while you're doing it. So there is my working yarn and my loop. I'm going to start a new row. So I'm not too sure how many rows I've done so far, but like I said, my chain, when I first did my chain, I did 10 in that example, I did 70 in this blanket. So fingers crossed I can get to a neat square. A handy trick for when you are trying to do squares, I'll show you here. So this is just about square. Can you see this like square here? To find out whether you have made a square, this was my chain, this cream one on the end. That was my first chain. If you get your corner where your knot is and fold it at the other corner, so here, so pull this top corner over here, so you're folding it into a triangle. Once you've folded this one straight, that will tell you whether your work is a square or not. So this isn't quite a square yet. I made it a little short, as you can see. If it was an exact square, it would be corner to corner like this. Okay, it's the next day. We've put all our decorations up. But I just wanted to show you that I have finished my blanket. So I have finished as much as I have got in wool, if that makes sense. So I can go buy some more, which I feel like I might, because I kind of want it just a bit longer. So it is completely square, I think. Yeah, and I really like it. It's so warm and cozy as well. So I'm so happy. I just want to make this one a bit longer, I think, because it's on my feet right now. If I make this one to about here, so double that, then it will be the same as down there. So I could get a grey and then one more of these, and it would be the same as down that end. And yeah, and it will come up to about my waist, and that would be so cozy and snuggly. And yeah, yay! I can't believe I've knitted myself, crocheted myself a blanket. So I also forgot to tell you quick that when you want to change colour wool, I'm going to find an example, like here. So my tricoloured ran out and I wanted to change to the grey. All you have to do is tie the 2 ends together and carry on. So just tie them together, and then it will be a bit tight to pull the knot through when you're hooping it through. But yeah, and then you just carry on with the next colour. But that is everything. That is my 4/5, if you count the prints as 2, DIY home ideas for Christmas. I can't wait to do my wreath. I am so excited to do that. And I kind of wish my print came out a little better, but never mind, I don't mind. I can always find something somewhere in a shop, support local and all of that, to hang on the wall over there. So if you guys do any of these DIYs, do let me know down in the comments, and let me know if you have done any other DIYs which would be cool for me to do in my house, and for everybody else watching to know about. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for decorating our house. Bye!